Apparently it has happened. We know that a couple of weeks ago, Elon Musk put in an offer of almost $44 billion.
The deal is done. Twitter has been sold to Elon Musk. The Tesla and SpaceX CEO acquired the social media company for roughly $44 billion.
A little bit like either superhero or supervillain. You have to choose one.
I'm trying to do useful things. I mean, yeah.
Elon Musk is a divisive figure.
Twitter in 2022, a controversial moment. On the 25th of April 2022, the board of Twitter agreed to accept a $44 billion offer by Elon Musk to take over the company. This was the endgame of a very aggressive move by Musk. Back in late January, he had very quietly begun buying shares in the company, such that by early April, it had become apparent that Musk had purchased 9.1% of the company, making him its largest shareholder. Then, in the days that followed, Musk was first invited to join Twitter's board, but he declined the offer and instead tabled a bid to buy the company on the 14th of April. Twitter's board initially responded warily, attempting a so-called poison pill strategy to fend off his aggressive move. But then, all of a sudden, less than 2 weeks later, it was announced that the deal had been accepted, and Musk would become the new owner of one of the world's largest communications platforms. Musk's takeover of Twitter is controversial for several reasons. Many see his acquisition of the company as a dangerous centralization of economic, political, and cultural power in the hands of a man who already runs the world's most valuable automobile company, Tesla, and owns a significant amount of that same company too, as well as running and owning a near majority of SpaceX, a space transportation company that will be a key player in the new age of space exploration. Others are concerned because Musk is a controversial figure, one who has been the subject of strong criticism from many groups within society over his very public views on a wide range of matters. And what is curious about this is that Musk is often criticized by left-leaning individuals and those characterized as right-wing. So in this video we ask, who is Elon Musk, and why is the man who has just bought Twitter so controversial? A quick message before we begin examining the life and controversies of Elon Musk to say that if you are enjoying our content, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you could share details of our videos with others as well, it would really help us out and enable us to keep delivering you our content. Thanks. And now, back to the video. Who is Elon Musk? Firstly, it is worth going back about a quarter of a century or more to ask, who exactly is Elon Musk? And how did he become the individual that Robert Downey Jr. decided to base his portrayal of Tony Stark and Iron Man on? Elon Musk was born in South Africa, but he relocated to Canada in 1988 when he was just 17. In the early 1990s, he studied economics and physics at the University of Pennsylvania before heading out west to Stanford. There, he became involved in a number of tech startups during the first major period of internet development prior to the dot-com bubble bursting. Eventually, one of the companies he co-founded in the late 1990s merged with another to form PayPal. This was then sold to eBay in 2002, earning Musk his first fortune. Thereafter, he became an angel investor and entrepreneur, founding SpaceX in 2002 and joining the board of Tesla in 2004. The latter of which, it should be noted, he did not establish himself, but became the primary shareholder and CEO of in 2008. As well as these ventures, Musk has been involved in efforts to establish neurotechnology, brain-computer interfaces, and a hyperloop for high-speed transport. In the process of all of this, he has become one of the world's wealthiest individuals, often trading top spot in this regard with Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, depending on where the share price of Amazon and Tesla lies on a given day. He was also named Time Magazine's Person of the Year for 2021. Such is his ubiquity in contemporary life. An environmentalist. Now, one of the most striking things about Musk is the bizarre contradictions which lie at the heart of his business life. Musk's great wealth is largely derived from his position as CEO of Tesla, the world's most visible electric car company. The goal of Tesla is to become the leading manufacturer of automobiles in a 21st century where cars no longer use fossil fuels, but run on batteries powered by renewables. To those who believe Tesla will fulfill this potential, Musk will be the Henry Ford of the 21st century, transforming how people drive automobiles and how they are manufactured on planet Earth. But while this view supposes that Musk is a visionary of 21st century environmentalism, there are huge contradictions here. Firstly, the company which Musk founded back in 2002, SpaceX, is hardly a green initiative. Space exploration and transportation is a massive user of fossil fuels. Moreover, SpaceX and its rivals, Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin and Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic, are all offering millionaires places on their shuttles as a form of space tourism. While Musk might be able to claim some legitimate basis for SpaceX's unenvironmental activity when it comes to developing a new space station, there is surely nothing other than hypocrisy at work when SpaceX burns huge amounts of fossil fuels to send millionaires joyriding around space for a few hours. Similarly, Musk has been deeply critical of public transport, calling it a pain in the ass and painful. There is a bizarre contradiction here between Musk on the one hand being the supposed visionary behind the revolutionizing of green automobiles for the future, and at the same time being critical of public transport. No climate scientist would suggest anything other than that human beings need to start using much more public transport to offset the deleterious effects of climate change in the coming years. Making cars electric is just one prong in a multifaceted strategy, not the sole solution as Musk seems to contend. This strangely ambivalent attitude towards environmental issues is one of the core aspects of how Musk is criticized by all manner of people. For those who still contend that climate change is overhyped or even not real at all, Musk has obtained too much wealth and status in fronting a company like Tesla, which isn't really necessary. While for the majority who hold that climate change is very real and an existential threat, the hypocrisy of Musk's position is very hard to reconcile. Other controversies. It is not just Musk's strange approach to environmentalism which has been controversial. There are many other issues which have garnered publicity surrounding him, much of it negative. For instance, politically, Musk has been something of a chameleon. He has claimed he is a significant donor to the Democratic Party, but has been critical of the leader of the progressive wing of the party, and instead has been known to endorse the ludicrous campaign of Kanye West to run for the presidency in 2020. Just months earlier, Musk was making strange declarations about the COVID-19 pandemic, claiming around the time that the global pandemic was beginning that it would all be over in a few weeks. He also made medically dubious assertions on occasion throughout the pandemic, notably that children were immune to the disease, that the virus was just a version of the common cold, and that the lockdown should be ended. He went so far as to briefly reopen Tesla's factories in California in March 2020, in moves which saw Musk identified as being sympathetic towards the views of the administration of the then-President Donald Trump and the Republican Party. In other areas, Musk is also controversial. For instance, despite being the world's richest or second richest man year to year, his philanthropy can tend to focus on attention-grabbing gimmicks such as when he offered to donate ventilators to hospitals during the COVID-19 pandemic. But the ones which he did were cheap versions which cost about 1% of the price of the ones needed, and were ineffective for the medical needs involved. As a result of all this, Forbes gave Musk a 1% rating in terms of his philanthropy in 2020. But this has not stopped him from claiming that he intends to give away the majority of his wealth to the common good. Indeed, the latter is perhaps unsurprising, given that Musk courts public notoriety. Thus, the decision by he and his third wife, the singer Grimes, to name their first child XAEA12. This name was found to be a violation of California law as it contained characters which are not part of the alphabet. And so after a few different changes, they settled on XAEA-XII. Elsewhere, Musk has been known to dramatically affect Tesla's share price by showing up on Joe Rogan's popular podcast and smoking cannabis, or tweeting on various controversial subjects, notably of late comparing the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler, and on occasion suggesting that human beings live in a computer simulation somewhat like the Matrix. It is not for nothing that he has acquired the reputation of a controversialist and has at times irked people on both sides of the political spectrum. We hope you are enjoying the video so far and are finding it informative. Just a quick reminder that if you are finding the video useful, to please like and share it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. We publish similar content very regularly, so be sure and subscribe in order to not miss out on anything. And now, back to the video. Left wing, right wing, a deliberate strategy of trying to be ambiguous? It should be said here that there is quite possibly a deliberate strategy being employed by Musk to be ambiguous about a wide range of topics and about his own politics. In doing so, he is allowing himself the space to invest in companies where he wishes and divest himself of an interest in others when he wants. Moreover, by constantly garnering public attention, he keeps himself relevant and seen as the leading tech innovator of our times. This too has extended into Musk's political views and where in recent years, as his views often clash with social justice warriors or woke individuals. For instance, in July 2020, Musk tweeted, "Pronouns suck," a supposed commentary upon the ongoing debate about the use of pronouns for transgender people or those who are non-binary. This was not an isolated incident, and Musk has repeatedly baited those who place a strong emphasis on the use of preferred pronouns. This has unsurprisingly attracted claims that Musk is right-wing, as have some of his other public pronouncements. And all of this is the reason why Musk's takeover of Twitter is so controversial. People are concerned that Musk will loosen restrictions on what can or cannot be said on the platform and allow for the return of users such as the ex-president Donald Trump, whose account was suspended after he used it to incite an insurrection by a mob at the US Capitol in January 2021. Musk has not eased any of these concerns by immediately claiming that Twitter needs to be a space where free speech is sacrosanct. Thus, much of the controversy that Musk is generating right now is about his political stances, and in the near future, he may have to move away from being so ambiguous to make it clearer whether he leans to the left or to the right politically.
Musk is no servant to ideology. He's an independent, a critical thinker who feels no sense of loyalty to either end of the ideological scale. His political record is consistent for its inconsistency, in a good way. And I find his self-reflection to be inspiring and, I hope, infectious.
The Hermione Granger trick. There is a plotline which runs through the third book in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, where Harry's friend, the academically ambitious Hermione Granger, uses a device called a time turner so that she can turn back time each day and attend twice as many classes as her fellow students. Elon Musk might well need a time turner before long. No sooner had the deal for Twitter gone through in late April 2022 than people began wondering how Musk could continue to effectively run three of the most high-profile companies on Earth at the same time: Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter. Indeed, the markets immediately figured that he probably can't run all three effectively, and thus Tesla's share price dropped by a substantial 12% in the 24 hours after the deal for Musk to take over Twitter was announced. However, Tesla might be the least troublesome one here. The company has finally started to show substantial quarterly profits in recent times, and there is an argument to be made that Musk is not largely needed there as much as it gathers its own steam. Perhaps the more substantial clash of interests will be between Twitter and SpaceX, as Musk's claim that he intends to introduce major changes to the communications platform would suggest he intends to devote much of his time to Twitter, even as SpaceX starts to enter a period of major activity, as it effectively becomes a freelance company used by NASA for American space exploration. Musk won't have the benefit of being able to turn back time every day in order to run these companies effectively, but he might well wish that he had. What might happen next? So, what might happen next when it comes to Musk? Tesla and SpaceX are set on a fairly clear trajectory in the years ahead. Tesla's stock price might oscillate a bit over time, but the company's path forward seems relatively straightforward. SpaceX's might be more complicated, and one major accident or hitch could suddenly cause NASA to question the massive contracts it has negotiated with the company as it begins to develop its Gateway space station, largely using SpaceX as an independent contractor. However, in reality for the foreseeable future, all eyes will be on what Musk does with Twitter as he settles into control of the company. Some things Musk has said seem like clear positives, notably the idea of cracking down on the use of bots to create fake accounts, and the registration of accounts tied to an ID. These are measures which should have been enacted years ago on the platform. But other issues will be more controversial, and no matter which direction Musk pushes the company in, he will take criticism from one side or the other of the political spectrum. For instance, will he relax the rules concerning what can or cannot be said before an account suspension is enacted? If he does, the left will criticize him, and if he doesn't, the right will. Will he ease the character count on tweets? If he extends it, purists of the platform might object. But perhaps the most pressing question of all is whether or not Donald Trump's Twitter account will be reinstated on the grounds of the right to free speech in the run-up to a possible new presidential bid by Trump in 2024. On that thorny issue, Musk might begin to run into more controversy than he has ever had to court before. And that's our video on the enigmatic Elon Musk, the controversies he has generated, and what might happen, and be sure to check out our other content. Share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to our channels.